Teachers of Reddit, what are some of the weirdest things you've confiscated from a student? A Ziploc bag of pink Crayola crayons that he sliced perfectly into small discs with a razor blade. He was trying to market them in the hallways as hallucinogenic pills. Small Tupperware container of swamp water. A pencil with a bunch of glued on egg-shaped confetti. A taxidermied kookaburra. She'd taught herself how to do it from books. It was not done well. Edit, just to clarify, apparently it was dead, having been hit by a car when she found it. Student was trying to stick a large suction cup dildo, like the ones you use in the shower, to another student's locker. He actually asked what the problem was. I had a similar experience after falling asleep in class one day and waking up to my teacher yelling at my friend for handcuffing me to my desk with bright red six cuffs. She was arguing back like it was a completely normal thing to do. As a former high school student, I can confirm that's a perfectly normal thing to do, and if someone in my school got their hands on six cuffs, they would be used like that. A white lacy thong from a kindergartner. She was wearing it on her head. Reminds me of that one Vanna Hedge Jason what's on your face? A sticker. A vitamin B12 8p didn't know they existed. It was a 9-year-old in class. My friend had his toasty machine banned just when he started to make a profit. A homemade arrow made with a pencil and a modified razor blade. A sugar glider. Kept hearing a high-pitched squeak in class. Noticed she had a small animal in her jacket pocket when it decided to poke its head out. A student brought one of these to my class. I teach college, so that was fine, and I was super excited, and she let me hold it. The students were busy doing some group work, and when they were just about done, I went to hand it back to her. It then proceeded to leap down the front of my shirt and attach itself to my bra. So now I'm supposed to be lecturing again, but this girl's sugar glider is not only sitting in my cleavage, but running around under my shirt. More than half the class had no idea why I was distracted or why I shoved my hand down between my boobs until I finally got the little guy out. The following year, a different student's hedgehog peed on me. I teach little ones, so nothing nearly as risque as some of the others in this thread. I've confiscated handcuffs, a wrench, baby bottles, and a variety of bugs and small animals the kid has caught out at recess. A colleague confiscated an adult movie from a 5-year-old. The kid didn't know what it was, didn't even know that it was a videotape or anything about it. It just looked cool, the tape itself. He didn't know of the content. A nugget of weed wrapped in tinfoil that a kid stole from his dad when he was mad at him. In music class, this kid Oliver pulls out a Matchbox car and starts playing. Teacher takes it, turn around, places it on piano, turns back's already gotten the next one out of his pocket and it back to playing, so she took it again, rinse repeat. Funniest sheet ever to an 8-year-old. We laughed so ducking hard. Sounds like something my 9-year did this year. Today's the last day of school and I have to go in and get them all from the office plus his camera lol. I taught English in South Korea for a year. One time I caught a kid doing the old comic book inside a textbook routine. I was surprised. I didn't know kids did that. After laughing, I confiscated his comic book. In my school we used to do that, but have non-fiction books inside fiction. For some reason during our library lessons we could borrow non-fiction, but during the lesson we had to read fiction. So this was what a lot of kids did. A raccoon penis toothpick. He kept poking other kids with it. Sigh. I had to confiscate an 11th grader's laptop because she was going to mature themed chat rooms during class. Specifically ones for married men looking to chat with young girls. Yee. Then, after she wasn't allowed to bring her laptop or phone to school anymore, she later got banned from school Chromebooks for doing it again. She was not very bright. When teaching pre-K, I had to confiscate a grenade. There was very serious confusion and terror when I saw him and told my aide that Timmy is holding a grenade. No, not a toy. Timmy. Name confidential. What do you have there, buddy? He tells me excitedly that it's a grenade. I asked him where he got it, and he said he found it in the trees by his house. You know, As you do in Midwest America, just find grenades in the trees. I made him give it to me immediately. It turned out to be hollowed out, and I believe it was a WWII pineapple grenade. His mom called maybe 4 hours later to tell us, hey, I forgot to mention Tommy wanted to bring his grenade to school. Y'all can just put it in his cubby. She also explained that he just found it. I still can't believe that happened. How do you just find a grenade? Why do you let your child bring it to school? So many other questions. My high school boyfriend worked as a counselor for an after-school program watching 4th and 5th graders and had to explain to a mom why her son couldn't bring bullets or bullet casings, I don't remember, to school to show his friends. Because if he dropped one and someone found a stray bullet on campus, the whole school, and probably some of the other nearby schools would have to go on lockdown until they confirmed everything was okay. Side story, construction workers uncovered a WWII bomb just outside my college campus a couple years ago when they were removing a tree. They had to lock down the area and call someone in to safely detonate it. That was an interesting campus alert text message. It wasn't exactly a confiscation. Some of my students thought it would be a good idea to bring me 2 chickens. 2 live chickens. They knew my daughter had a pet duck that had recently died, so this was their idea to help us get past the grief. I had to keep them in a carrier in my classroom closet in the dark, just so they would be quiet. The chickens, not the kids. By the end of the day I found a kid with a grandmother that had a farm. She took the chickens home. Edit, here's her duck in better days. Imga. Comp 5 I 6WL. JPG. Camp counselor here. We have permission to go through bags to confiscate prohibited items like food and electronics and knives. One girl had a Tupperware full of what looked like the oldest peanut butter imaginable smeared all over the Tupperware. I brought it to my coworkers and we all tried to smell it, but it smelled different to all of us. Literally no clue what this sheet was. Asked the girl about it one day and she goes, that's my plant, like it's obvious. Apparently it was some kind of fungus or algae to apply to sunburns. Edit, it's in the woods. They can't keep food on them because of bears and other wildlife. We aren't starving them, I promise. Not confiscated but actually given as a gift. A bag of her hair. A bag of every strand of hair she's had cut since birth. Not a teacher, but a kid brought a human skull to school. I think the teacher just had a conversation with him about it. Edit to answer some questions. The skull was real. The kid was a baddie. His folks were more likely meth cooks than doctors. It didn't get donated. The school in question was near a rural mountain area where a lot of people lived who wanted to be left alone. The provenance of the skull was, at the most, conservative, dubious. My father took a cleaver off a student. My dad was doing lunch duty and saw the kid open his jacket and motion his buddies to have a look. Turns out there was going to be a fight after school. My dad knew the kid and asked him to step into the hallway. He got the cleaver off the kid and took him to the office. I'm not sure what his punishment was, but pre-Columbine, so who knows. In 7th grade I accidentally brought a hunting knife to school. I'd been playing with it at home, flipping it and trying to catch it by the handle. I was doing this while it was fastened in a sheath, so no danger or anything. Well, I missed and dropped it. Couldn't find where it went and figured I'd just find it later. Well, I forgot about it. Fast forward about a week. It's the end of the day and I'm cleaning out my backpack at school. Found the knife at the bottom of the bag. Yeah, I'd been carrying the thing to and from school for a week and didn't know. I just shoved it back into the bag before anyone saw and then took it out once I got home. So lucky I didn't get caught with it. A turtle. She had stolen it from the biology teacher's room and had it in the bathroom sink. We had a sink turtle in every bathroom at my high school. It's really good for raising morale and comforting anxious kids. A little orange lizard in a box with a Charizard Pokémon card taped to it. Edit, to clarify, the card was taped to the box. Edit, wow, this blew up. Now I understand the meaning of inbox spammed. An action figure with a picture of my face taped on the head. A can of Axe, only because he sprayed another student with it. And to be fair to the student doing the spraying, the other student had gym class the previous period and had not changed out or showered. He did smell. In the words of the axe spraying student, like a dead rotting moose. But after the spraying he smelled like a dead rotting moose that had been sprayed with axe body spray. It was not an improvement. This happened in the classroom where someone once optimistically hung up a green apple scented wonder balm. That also did not help. Related story, you know how axe is flammable? When I was a freshman I had an acquaintance light several things, his desk, pants, and my friend's pants, the floor, on fire in the middle of class. Lucky for him, the teacher was mostly deaf and going blind, so as long as his back was turned, Biro could have his fun. The naked lady booby lighter. Kid was 7th or 8th grade in an alternative school setting. He was always sneaking stuff in his pockets and getting it taken up. We are walking to lunch and my assistant stops suddenly. He comes back with a metal naked woman torso in his hand. You could press one boob and the flame came out of the other. It was fantastic. It was super popular in the office for the few days until mom came to pick it up. She was really glad to get family heirloom back. When I was in junior high, 7th and 8th grade, I sold the naked lady booby ink pee while you're writing. She had clothes on, but turn it upside down and her clothes would come off. I could buy a box of a dozen for $2 and I was selling them for $1 EA. Made a mint. Student. A teacher confiscated a dildo from a student. This was in 7th grade. Not a teacher but someone who helps 5th graders adapting to their new school. We usually are a team of 5 or 6 older pupils who look after one class. Anyways, one day one of these kids wasn't paying attention to us and constantly playing with something under his desk. I then took it and it was 2 phones tied together back to back with rubber bands. To this day I don't know what this construction was for.